Today on Legends, Lore, and Lies, we peel back the veil of time to explore the tale of Hannah Cranna, known to the denizens of Monroe, Connecticut as the Wicked Witch of Monroe. This is no mere story of brooms and cauldrons, but a narrative woven with threads of fact, folklore, and the unexplainable mysteries that hover at the edge of history. In the early 19th century, Monroe was a place where the past shadows lingered longer than most. A town where Hannah Cranna's name conjured whispers of witchcraft. Following the suspicious death of her husband, Captain Joseph Hovey, Hannah's life took a turn toward the legendary. Townsfolk speculated that a spell had confused the captain, leading him to his untimely death. From that moment, Hannah was feared and revered, her life shrouded in tales that blurred the lines between reality and myth. Hannah was said to demand favors with the threat of curses, leveraging her ominous reputation among her neighbors. Stories abound of pies that lost their taste, fishermen who caught nothing but bad luck, and oxen that froze in their tracks, all attributed to her ire or intervention. These tales were not mere bedtime stories, but recounted events that etched her name into the archives of Connecticut's lore. The most chilling part of her story, perhaps, is her death and the peculiar events that followed. Her final wish was for her coffin to be carried by hand to her grave, a wish ignored by the townsfolk, until mysterious circumstances forced them to comply. After her burial, her home was consumed by flames, sealing her legacy and ensuring that the legend of Hannah Cranna would endure through the ages. But Hannah's story doesn't end at her grave. Sightings of a spectral figure near her resting place have led to tales of a haunting that persists to this day. Drivers report swerving to avoid a woman in the road, only to crash, further intertwining the supernatural with Hannah's enduring legend. As we peer into the tale of Hannah, we find ourselves at the crossroads of history and mystery, where fact and folklore are indistinguishably intertwined. Her story is a reminder of the power of a legend and the lasting impact of stories we tell about the people who walk the line between the known and the unknowable. Join us as we continue to explore the life and legacy of Hannah, peering into the shadows of Connecticut's past to uncover the truth behind the legend. What truths lie beneath the tales of curses and hauntings? How does the story of one woman continue to captivate the imagination of those who hear her name? These are the questions that beckon us further into the legend of the Wicked Witch of Monroe. We turn our gaze to the tangible threads of Hannah's tale, weaving through the facts and folklore to uncover the story of Connecticut's own Wicked Witch. Hannah's life, veiled in the mists of the early 19th century, unfolds in a town where whispers of witchcraft were as common as the morning fog. Hannah Hovey, her life in Monroe, was a typical widow, save for the shadow cast by her husband's mysterious death. Captain Joseph Hovey's fatal fall from a cliff sparked rumors that would forever alter her fate. The townsfolk whispered of bewitchment, suggesting that she had ensnared her husband in a spell leading to his demise. From that moment on, Hannah stepped into a role that history would never let her leave. But who was the real Hannah? Descriptions paint her as a solitary figure, draped in the black of widowhood, living a life of seclusion with only her chickens for company. Yet it was her relationship with her neighbors that fed the legend. She was known to demand favors, and those who refused found themselves at the mercy of her reputed curses. Her demands were simple: food and firewood, essentials for survival. But her method of procurement stoked the fires of her infamy. Her legend is just not the tale of curses and spells, but also a story of survival in an era when the widow's peak was a precipice over an abyss of poverty and isolation. Her manipulation of the fears and superstitions of her time reveals a woman of cunning and intelligence, navigating the perilous waters of societal marginalization. We venture deeper into the realm of legend and lore that surrounds Hannah, the so-called Wicked Witch of Monroe. Let's unfurl the rich tapestry of myths that have immortalized Hannah weaving her into the very fabric of Connecticut's haunted history. Legend has it that her life was steeped in the supernatural, a narrative embroidered with the tales of spells, curses, and a pact with forces beyond the mortal coil. Her reputation as a witch wasn't merely by chance. It was cemented through stories that have been passed down through the generations, stories that blur the line between earthly and unearthly. One such tale tells of a neighbor, renowned for her baking skills, whose pies never tasted sweet after denying Hannah the pick of her freshly baked goods. Another speaks of a young man, bold enough to fish in Hannah's brook, cursed never to catch a fish again. These stories, whether rooted in fact or feigned by the flames of imagination, showcase a woman wielding her formidable reputation like a shield, a tool, a weapon. But perhaps the most compelling of these legends is the tale of her demise, Hannah's final act, a prophecy of her own death, followed by mysterious circumstances that thwarted the townfolk's attempts to bury her against her wishes. Only to have her home consumed by flames upon their return is a story that chills the bone. It's a tale that binds the community of Monroe to her, even beyond the grave. As we explore these legends, we encounter not just the whispers of witchcraft, but also a deeper, more resonant chord within the human psyche. The tales of Hannah tap into our collective fascination with the unknown, the power of nature, and the thin veil that separates the living from the dead, the possible from the impossible. Yet for all the tales of curses and spectral retribution, there's an undeniable thread of humanity running through Hannah's story. Behind the myth, we find a woman navigating the trials of widowhood, poverty, and isolation, in a time when the margins of society were a dangerous place to exist. The legends that sprang up around her perhaps were as much a testament to her survival in a harsh world as they were to the fears and superstitions of her neighbors. People have shared tales that chill the spine and stir the soul, accounts of encounters with an unseen force near Hannah's grave, and mysterious happenings that defy explanation. Some speak of a sudden chill in the air, a feeling of being watched, or the inexplicable malfunction of electronic devices near her final resting place. Others recount sightings of a spectral figure robed in black, wandering the graveyard or standing silently by the road on dark nights, causing the hearts of the bravest to skip a beat. One particularly compelling tale comes from a local who dared to visit her grave on a dare. As the story goes, the air grew unnaturally cold, and a sudden gust of wind seemed to whisper words in a language long forgotten. The visitor left feeling an unshakable sense of being followed, a feeling that lingered long after leaving the cemetery gates. Another account tells of a driver swerving to avoid a woman who appeared suddenly in the middle of the road, only for the figure to vanish into thin air, leaving no trace behind but a lingering sense of dread and the echo of a haunting laugh carried away by the wind. These encounters, whether born of a collective imagination or rooted in something beyond our understanding, weave a rich tale of mystery and intrigue around Hannah Cranna. They invite us to question the boundaries of our understanding and to ponder the possibility of a world beyond the tangible, a world where the past is not as distant as it seems. Could there be natural explanations for the phenomenon attributed to Hannah's otherworldly powers? Skeptics argue many of the so-called curses and hauntings could be the result of psychological suggestion, the power of belief shaping our perceptions and experience in profound ways. The pie that never tasted sweet again, the fish that never bit. Could these not be instances where the expectation of misfortune brought about its own manifestation? And what of the spectral sightings? The mysterious woman in black causing cars to swerve off the road. Could these not be tricks of the light, or perhaps the mind, influenced by the power of Hannah's story? It's well documented that high emotional states can heighten our susceptibility to suggestion, making the heart see ghosts where none exist. Yet, as we dissect these tales with a scalpel of skepticism, we must ask ourselves, does the absence of a scientific explanation necessarily denote the presence of a supernatural one? Or could it be that we are yet to understand the full capabilities of the natural world, and the mysteries that remain hidden in its shadows? In search for truth, it's crucial to maintain an open mind, balanced by a healthy dose of skepticism. The world is rich with wonders, both explained and unexplained, and the legend of Hannah serves as a poignant reminder of the enduring allure of the unknown. Hannah Cranna, known to many as the Wicked Witch of Monroe, leaves behind a legacy wrapped in the mystery of folklore, personal encounters, and the age-old debate of science versus the supernatural. Her story, rich with the lure of curses, spectral sightings, and a life shrouded in mystery, challenges us to question the boundaries of our own understanding and to marvel at the enduring power of narrative to shape, terrify, and enchant. But the story doesn't end there. It lives on in telling and retelling, in the whispers of the wind through the trees at Gregory's Four Corners burial ground, and in the minds and hearts of those who dare to peer beyond the veil of the unknown. And now, we turn to you, our intrepid listeners, to be part of this ongoing saga. Do you have thoughts on Hannah Cranna's story, theories on the blend of fact and folklore, or perhaps your own tales of mystery and the unexplained? We invite you to join this conversation. Comment below this YouTube video, share your insights and stories in our Discord server, or send us an email. Your voice is a crucial thread in the ever-evolving tapestry of legends, lore, and lies. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the shadows. Until next time, keep the candle burning at the window, a beacon for the tales yet to be told, the mysteries yet to be unraveled, and the legend that awaits us in the darkness of night.